if everyone's ready, we'll get this meeting started. Thank you for coming.
Can I make my interruption?
Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Philip. I'm a City Bryant IT employee that's here recording these meetings. We are working on getting these uploaded to YouTube, but as a special favor to make sure the recording stays as good as possible, if everybody can please make sure that they come up to the podium when they are doing public comments. When you're at the back of the room, it gets really hard for our microphones to hear you. I'll also say that members of the committee, you each have a microphone in front of you. If you can please refrain from talking to each other at the same time, that would really help make sure that everybody's easily heard.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Duly noted.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to our special meeting, May the 8th, and just a reminder what this meeting was called for. Communications, doing it better, getting it right. We're going to do that until we get it right. And the other thing is to approve contract and the RFQ. Won't take long. Bobby, if you would, call the roll, please.
City of Benton, Todd Peterson.
Here.
City of Bryant, Mariah Winkle.
Here.
Salem Water, Dickie Kentner.
Here.
City of Haskell, Bobby Westbrook, present. Southwest Water, Jason Temple.
He should be coming.
Saline County Water and Sewer, Jamie Reagan.
He's absent, yes.
City of Shannon Hills, Mike Kemp.
She's coming. Kim Hamby.
And East End Water, Kim Couples.
Here.
We have 5 present and 3 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I declare this meeting open for business. If it's okay with the board, why don't we get this contract RFQ out of the way, and then we will dedicate to communication and getting that right, getting it out. And might ask Matt for a comment on a little bit about what he's been doing, but most of this is going to be spent around what we want to work on.
Doing public comment too, or no?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
Right.
And any comments, please come up. First thing, we need to approve Perry's RFQ that will be sent out for publication, and it will go out tomorrow needs to go out tomorrow by noon. We do this ever so often, just checking them and everything. Be sure we're up to date. And so if there's not any question, I would entertain a motion to approve that RFQ to be sent out for publication.
For legal services?
Yes, for legal services. Thank you.
Yes. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I agree. Now, Miss Rhonda, she's not here yet. We need to renew Rhonda's contract for her services she does for us. It's time for that. And so I would entertain a motion to renew her contract. And we need to, she should be here. She's coming, I think. You want to table that till she gets here? Maybe ask her?
And it wasn't on the agenda, so that's something that we just need to have a motion to that.
Well, it had.
Does it?
Yeah, it did
Yeah,
have
just
a
read it.
contract and RFQ for this is for
Okay,
legal
I'm sorry.
services, but that's
Sorry.
Rhonda too. No, that's not her.
All right.
All right, let's wait and see if she comes. And
We should probably make a motion to add it to the agenda since it just says legal services.
it does say legal services. I agree.
I make a motion to add
Yes.
Rhonda's contract to the agenda. Rhonda's contract renewal to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I agree. All right.
And then we'll wait until.
And let's wait till she gets here, and be sure it's just like she wants it and we want it. So
Right.
I do like for her to be here. All right, let's move into communications on our project, see what we have done, what we've accomplished, and maybe we keep working in that direction.
Can we do public comment first?
Yes.
Get their input too?
Sure.
I'd rather do,
They're gonna-
I would rather do the communications.
Whatever.
Okay, we can do communications first.
Yeah,
I don't
I'd
care.
rather us talk
Whatever
about
we're
it.
gonna do, I'm gonna ask them if they got any better ideas.
Yeah, okay, good point.
Add to,
Yeah.
take away, whatever, I mean, it's gonna be ongoing,
Yeah.
so,
Okay, we spent a lot of time, especially this week, after not dying from the flu, working on communication strategy for us moving forward. Worked hand in hand with some communications experts, as well as City of Bryant's communications manager that runs all of City of Bryant stuff. Obviously, we kind of came up with our key messaging and the purpose. One thing that I'm going to ask the board is that we're working on drafting some mission statements right now for Saline Regional Public Water Authority so that we have a solidified purpose statement or mission statement, whatever we want to call it, so that we're making sure we're on the same page and aligning with that goal each and every month as this project develops. So that's one thing that hoping to bring to our May 22nd meeting. We're going to be making a lot of changes to the website. A lot of that's from your guys' feedback. We're going to make sure that we've got meeting agendas on the website. We're going to have our meeting agendas as well as meeting minutes so that you guys can, if you can't attend, that you can stay up to date. As Philip mentioned, we're also going to be having our YouTube channel. It'll be an easy link to get to it so you can watch the actual meetings if you'd like to watch it back. We won't be live streaming it just because we don't necessarily have that capability right now. But we will be uploading them after we have had those meetings. We've got a survey, a sample survey letter drafted and sent out to some of the property owners that we're looking at along the corridor that we're looking at surveying. I think we sent out like 27 letters a couple days ago. And then we're hoping to kind of have an interactive map. Once we decide on a route, we're hoping to have an interactive map that kind of shows in depth where those properties are so you can see how the line affects you and how it goes through your property instead of just a big line. Instead of just a big line, that straight line, whatever. So we want you guys to be well informed on where exactly it's coming through before we send out, even the request for an easement. Another thing we're going to have on there is frequently asked questions. So if you guys have questions about the project, there's been a lot of basic questions that we haven't, necessarily done the best job at answering on the front end. So we want to make sure that we're keeping you guys up to date on what the project actually is. And then you're going to have one firm contact for the project because as of right now, I know a lot of people don't really know who to contact about this project or who to reach out to when they have specific questions. So we're going to have one point of contact for everyone that's simple and easy for everyone to get a hold of. And then we're also going to upload this communication strategy on the website so you guys can kind of see it. Other than that, I'm really just asking you guys, what do you guys want to see on the website? What would help you guys?
I guess, because that has not been brought before the board.
It hasn't, no.
So-
It will be adopted as a communication strategy hopefully
Okay.
in the next meeting. But it'd be great to get input before we finalize it and I bring it to the board for
Okay,
asking
so-
to adopt.
Okay, well, is there going to be any cost associated with the modifications that we're going to need to do to the website, or is that part of our original?
Not the ones that I just mentioned, all that's gonna be, the Mayor of Bryant has offered his communications person, we've got some outside communications helping us. The things that I just mentioned, no, they will not,
So,
there will
everybody
not be a
that-
cost.
Okay. The letters that were sent out,
It was me.
yeah, I know, but they weren't brought before the board.
They were. The survey letter was sent out to the board for comment.
It wasn't formally approved at a board meeting.
No, it was not. But I.
Yeah, I know,
It was not.
that's-
But it was
okay.
sent out to
Is
you
that-
guys for comment and.
Because at the last meeting, okay,
y'all did that in committee, did you?
is that through the?
No, we did. I sent it to the whole board.
Yeah, send it to the whole board.
And I
Okay.
asked for comments, and I got a couple and
Yep.
made edits as the comments came in.
Good deal.
Brian, one of the changes you'll need to make to the website is to include personal contact information for each member of the board. That's
Yes,
kind of
okay, yeah.
New law effective early August, you might as well.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna take the easement committee portion off of it, just because we're kind of doing easement committee now as a whole, and because we've got that RFQ out for easement acquisition anyways, so the easement acquisition committee isn't really a committee anymore, so, But I will put everyone's contact information underneath each of their board, underneath the board.
That's great.
So I guess board suggestions, anyone else's suggestions? I mean, this was all that I could think of, this is what I would want to see. And again, probably should have done this to begin with, absolutely, but trying to go back and do it right this time.
As far as, are they aware that they're going to be able to notify the email or alert the email? And then get notifications, and it will only be for meeting agendas?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So Madeline Wilson, that typically sends out the agendas for Saline Regional, she is now going to be using the info@srpwa-ar.gov. That's our official Gmail. So you will be getting, if you're signed up or requested to be signed up for meeting agendas or minutes, you will be getting them actually from Saline Regional Public Water Authority now instead of Madeline Wilson at Benton Utilities.
And the minutes will not be, okay, let's talk about, because Bobby sends the minutes out to the meeting, but they haven't been formally approved, so until,
Right.
so they will not, are we going to just publish them, or are we going to send them out? I think we just put them as a link, or just as you.
I was just
said.
going to have it as a tab underneath.
Yeah, just leave it
Yep.
that way and not be sent, but the agendas, anybody who
The
wants to.
agendas need to be sent, yeah.
If anybody
The
wants to
meeting minutes
notify.
and the meeting,
Right.
yes, the meeting agenda will be sent out, the
And
meeting minutes will
notifications.
just be able to be.
To anybody who wants,
Easily
okay.
accessible, yes.
Are the meeting's gonna be, the minutes gonna be sent out before they're approved?
No,
Okay.
they will not get posted until they've been approved by this board.
I have a question. So then,
Thank you very much.
so how do you plan on communicating to people when the meetings are? Like through email sign up only?
As of right now,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
on our website.
Or on the website as well.
So is there going to be a link on the website for email sign up?
There will be under the contact, I'm working with the IT guy right now to have, when you click it, it'll automatically send an email to Madeline at the info@srpwa and request to be put on the email list, and then you'll be put on it.
Okay, and then the website that you're talking about, like, that you already have, that you're updating with all this stuff, is that link, going to be found, like, I guess, I'm just like, how are you going to communicate, like, are you going to post the meeting times on there or just through email sign up? I mean, like, some people don't even know anything yet.
Right.
And I know that we were talking last time about, like, reaching out to people that might be impacted or might want to attend a meeting. So I mean, like, if they don't know the website exists, how are they going to find it?
Yeah, one thing that we talked about that was we talked with the county, and hopefully the county is going to put a tab on their website for, because it's not the county's project, but as in their support of the project, Saline Regional Public Water Authority tab, basically, that you click on from the county's page. City of Bryant's going to do the same thing, and then hopefully all the rest of the other cities that are involved will also put a tab on with a link to the website. And on the website, there will be a link, probably front page, that's, the meeting agenda, or where we can always upload that on, like, where the next meeting's gonna be. So when you go, it's not hard to find where and when the next meeting's gonna be.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Why do the minutes have to be approved to send it out?
Because they are not formally minutes until they are approved by this board.
So,
because,
go ahead.
because like when Bobby sends the minutes out, and this has happened before, where we see things that, hold it, I don't agree with this, we need to make amendments to it. He sends them out and says, this is what I remember, and we make amendments to them or adjustments. So then when the board meets, we might say minutes approved as amended or approved. So they are not formally out there until they're approved.
So basically you're saying, so you can change stuff in those minutes if you don't agree with it?
Not that, if I disagree, if I don't agree that that's what occurred.
Okay.
But I mean, sometimes he might make a typo or something. I mean, put a number in there wrong or stuff like that, and that's happened before.
Well, that may happen. I don't think you're on the upper hand of things, and I've thought that since the first meeting I came to, which was last week. And I think you're underhanded, that's what I think. All right, ma'am, here's what she's asking you. If there's people out there that are impacted by this, and they don't go to a computer, they don't go to websites, they don't do whatever, how are they going to get notified? That's her question. And that's just what we talked about last week, is that not everybody in the path, all their neighbors need to know too. How are you going to do that?
The way that we're trying to mitigate that is through sending out the initial survey letter. So even before the surveyors come out, the survey letter does have a contact person on it, and it does have the website information on it. So you're right, they may not go on the website, but at least they do have a contact that they can reach out to. And then when we ask for easements, we also send out an easement letter, so before the surveyors are even there.
Okay, so is that going to impact anybody in Salem? Salem, Arkansas.
Is what going to impact them?
Down Congo Road.
That I
Is this
don't,
going to impact them? You don't know?
we don't know.
Did y'all not buy 40 acres from behind Salem?
Oh, yes,
Reservoir?
yes.
Okay, is it going to impact people in Salem?
It will, yeah, the water.
Okay, how many
department
people
over
from Salem know about this? Who's here from Salem Water Department? Okay.
Yes, sir.
How many people have you notified? Zero.
Zero.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. No. Part of that reason was when that property came up, we tried to move at a good
Jake, I'm not arguing about any of that.
I'm just telling you where I'm at.
Okay.
And we had, and I appreciate you. Before people got word and the price blew and somebody bought it and resold it to us, I worried about that for weeks. And so, since then, we should have, not a problem.
Y'all been dealing with this for 9 years, right? You've been on this project for 9 years, Matt, 2016?
Longer than that.
Longer. People should have already been notified. They should have been notified. I don't know what think y'all are trying to do by not letting people know.
We weren't trying to do anything, it wasn't moving, we were stagnant. We didn't have anything to report really, until it got going, and we should have,
When did this organization receive the permit from the state that actually made this a viable project?
we should have it.
Well, yeah, we got it somewhere.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Permit.
It's been before now, and it should have been notified to the public.
Your question, the permit is dated July 24th, 2023.
Before that, this thing is looked at, y'all have looked at many different things and a whole bunch of them. At that time, it was just, yeah, because y'all at one time were coming from Ouachita Lake, not Ouachita River.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking for Bryant, we notified our customers through video and educational video and through our website and things like that with the news release after we signed. Correct. But we still needed to let people know that they were going to be impacted through their water rates.
And I heard that at the last meeting, and I just heard it again. Y'all are going to be getting the water also.
We're getting water, and Benton doesn't need the water, it's coming to Bryan. And
It's going to, Southwest is buying water, and so is Salem,
Okay.
from this plant.
Okay.
I mean, do y'all agree, everybody else water, which then you're not getting any water from anybody but yourself. But Southwest is buying water from this facility, and so is Salem. I mean, Benton is the only one that is not getting finished water, okay? We're just getting raw water, okay? Right now, currently, Benton serves Southwest water and Salem water. But as Benton grows, we're going to lose capacity on our treatment plant, and they're thinking about that, and they're saying, hey, we need to have this capability to serve this water. So it's very important for y'all too. I mean, that's the thing I hope you understand.
Right grows.
But
That's what you said last week.
I didn't say that.
Well, go back and listen to the recording. I got it on my phone. You want to hear it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's what you said. When
Because I'm from Benton, I would never say when Brian grows.
We're in the same boat. My water system's gonna be taken over by COW if we don't get this thing going. And then water is gonna be the same price as electricity in 8 years. This isn't just,
Brian, this is just
Saline
not
County.
Brian. I mean, this is for everybody in Saline County. I mean, having the ability to serve yourself with a viable product, I mean, you gotta hold your own destiny in your own hands, and
I feel like
That's what
you're
this-
being a little bit like selfish.
Okay.
Yeah, you.
Oh, really?
You're being selfish in your thoughts and thinking about you
Really?
and not the bigger picture about everybody, about everybody saving money, these people that don't have enough money
That's not
to.
true. That's not true at all. I said last week, go back and listen to the recording, I believe that our neighbors in Bryant need water. What I don't believe
He
is
did say that.
that you can come in and you can underhandedly not contact people.
Even if they would have had that information out, you all probably wouldn't have been able to find it. You probably wouldn't have known to even look for it.
There's been nothing underhanded, sir.
Believe that?
There's been nothing underhanded, sir. I'll tell you
Yes,
straight
I can
up.
tell you right now, when we're not getting contacted until after this project's approved, I'm telling you, it is underhanded.
So when did the Saline County Quorum Court approve the $10 million for this project?
I don't know, you tell me.
2022.
2022.
Notified?
The whole county was in the paper, notified publicly, and it matters. So this project's been going on for a
I got
while.
my mailbox.
It just got really serious now. Now that we've got a permit, now that we've got to figure out how to get from point A to point B, it's really serious now, and I get it. We cannot over-communicate enough at this point, but we are going to. And we really appreciate the input and the feedback and the passion that you guys are expressing, your disapproval of not being completely in the knowledge, and we are going to fix that. Mariah and us, we are working on that. You're absolutely right. It's going to be fixed. It's going to be communicated much better from here on. And I hope within a month's time, this is not even an issue anymore. You'll be able to say, hey, you got it covered. We appreciate it. We're getting notified. And if if you can't say that to me in a month, I'm going to get upset.
All right, good. I grew up in Bryant, I had a property in Bryant, I was water in Bryant, I'm not being selfish, I want you to know, but they're not taking the dang thing from you, I bet you. So there you go.
But, and you did say, you did say, hey, Brian is our neighbor. So I remember that comment, and I appreciate that comment. And again, but I just want to make sure y'all understand that this water is also for y'all, because Benton is also growing. And as our water plant loses capacity, or we have so much capacity, as that gets used up for our internal customers, they're going to have to have water from somewhere, okay? That's the key. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is help the Saline County long-term.
That's right. Paul?
Well, I missed last week, and I apologize for that, so there's a lot of discussions that I missed, so I'm gonna throw every one of you a curveball. My phone number's on the website, not y'all's website, but my phone number's available, my address is available. So I've got a lot of phone calls from constituents in everything north of I-30 concerned about this project. So I want to relay some information to you. A lot of them don't come, won't come, but they talk to me. A lot of people are concerned about the makeup of this board, and I'm just being honest.
Sure.
They're concerned that, and I don't know, I know what most of you do, some of you I don't. Most of you are tied to a water department, or you're an employee of the water department. I would assume that's correct. I don't know about you, and you're shaking your head yes. So I'm assuming that y'all all are, and my constituents are saying, hey, they have a vested interest in it, and they have nothing personal to gain, but their offices and their businesses and their employers have something to gain. So take, for example, the hospital board is not made up of doctors. There's some doctors on it, but not all doctors.
Right.
The airport commission's got some pilots, but you got average people on the board too. the towing board. Got some tow truck drivers, owners, then you got civilians that don't do tow truck on there also. So, and again, I know it's reinventing the wheel, but I've had constituents ask if this board can be changed, the dynamics, to put an average citizen on this board to look after the average citizen's rights. I know y'all are gonna say you're doing that, but you can look out through this room, these are average people that are concerned, and I'm sure there's people in here that would be willing to serve on the board, and I don't know who appointed y'all. I don't know if it's, and I need to find out, maybe Perry can answer, where the judge, the mayors of each city appointed y'all, I don't know. East End's got a representative, but East End's not a city. So I don't know who appointed you, and I don't know how we reinvent that, but I'm just gonna ask the board to look at that before y'all start making decisions to include some average taxpayers on the board that does not have a vested interest in this project. So, and I'll take any questions.
Perry, can you answer his question?
I can.
Yeah.
It was started as a consortium of water providers that together, I believe, I'm going to get the statistic wrong, but I believe they represent over 80% of the households in the county. And their primary aim was to make sure that Saline County always had a self-sufficient source of water. Nothing more, nothing less. It benefits each of the water providers in that they're not overpaying for water, they're not going to polluted sources, we're not surrendering our sovereignty, our independence. The articles which were written before I ever got retained, and the bylaws, we've tweaked each one of them once. But they have always been written so that the East Ends of the world have the same voting power on this board as does the Benton Utilities of the world. Mr. Dunn has seen half a dozen of these. The ones that have weighted voting, I have 20,000 customers, you only have 5,000 customers, those don't work.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking for that.
Yeah.
The composition of the board and how it came together was the water providers saying, we need to do something for our customers besides raise their rates. So that's how it came about, that's how it was drafted.
Okay, basically, who appoints each member, like an East End person, who appoints this?
Water board.
Nobody's appointed by an elected official.
I'm appointed by the mayor.
You're appointed by the mayor, so it's kind of
It's a mix.
a mixed basket here.
Yeah,
And I know bylaws can be changed, and again, I mean, school boards, you can't be a school employee and be on school board. City council, you can't be a city employee. Same way at Quorum Court, you can't be a county employee.
Same here.
Well, they're all representing, and they all work for a water district, because I guess is my point. I mean, I'm assuming.
No, we're volunteers, so my board, which.
That's what I asked, and everybody.
My board's made of your neighbors, and we're all volunteers. Dickie's Salem is all volunteers, and so there's.
Nobody on the board gets a paycheck from a water board.
I do.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
Well, I guess City of Bryant.
So, City of Bryant. So, I mean, are you retired, Dickie?
I am retired.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So at one point in time, though, you received a paycheck from the Salem Water or Southwest Water?
No, no.
Okay, all right.
Never been an employee.
So half of the board works for a water district. So do y'all see what I'm saying? I'm not saying get rid of anybody, but add 2 or 3 average citizens on the board, and you're shaking your head no.
No problem. I think that'll work.
Okay, all right. I thought you were shaking your head no.
No.
I'm just asking, that's the concern people have, is they would like to see an average person be on there to say, you know what, that don't make sense, or that does make sense. So anyway, I just would like for y'all to take that under advisement, and whoever does your appointees, I don't care if it's every community, they appoint somebody else. Like the county judge would be over Sardis and East End because it's not an incorporated city. If you live in the city, Tom Farmer could appoint somebody. I'm just saying, or Tom would do yours. I'm just saying.
I think it's because the water is run by Benton Utilities is why the PUC does it. It's because we are 2 separate entities in the city of Benton. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
Okay.
Now, if we want an independent person up here, because actually I thought about getting off the board because of some other issues that we've talked about. But, this business and be up on this board trying to get this business started is hard, because again, we're doing this on the side of trying to get this thing going for, again, the long-term betterment. But with sunshine laws as strict as they are in Arkansas, it's hard for us to try to do things as a board. So it might be better for me to be off the board. If somebody else wants to be the person on the board, that's okay.
Well, I just would say, I mean, and that's just, if you put 3 average, Benton a .1, Brian a .1, the county judge a .1, just get a different makeup of the board that has different.
They would have a vote.
Different eyes and ears than y'all do. Y'all live and breathe water,
They would have a
but you
vote.
might get somebody else that don't understand it, that maybe has a different input. So anyway, that's all I would ask, is just to look at
Let me
that.
say this to you, my friend. It doesn't matter. If that's what it takes to get this project, let's do it. Don't stop this project. This has got to go. There won't be any more like this one.
And I told you in the beginning, I'm not against the project. I just want to protect my neighbors, my friends, and, I just want to protect people that are concerned about their property, going down through their property. And again, I've offered right-of-ways, and y'all are way smarter than I am. Y'all have figured that out, and you figured out whether you can or can't. I'm throwing things out, trying to see if something sticks. So, again, and I'm not trying to stop anything, I promise you,
Let me ask y'all this. So if we can get 3, 4, don't get hung up on a number. How do we decide that? Let them pick them?
I would say you go to the county judge and say, kind of a makeup of the board. It's like, all right, whatever cities are involved, I don't know if Alexander's involved or not.
If what, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know if Alexander's involved.
There is normally a representative.
Normally,
Yes.
if
Saline County-
there's a municipality,
Saline County Public Facility Board, Saline County Public Facilities Board, Jamie, provides on the Saline County side of.
I would say if Alexander's involved, they get an appointment, the Bryant does, Benton does, and the county judge could appoint 1 or 2, whatever the makeup was. I'm just saying, put somebody else on there. Because we did it. We passed a bill this year. The towing board was made up of towing board owners. And we had complaints from the public, and we changed it. Said, all right, we're going to let you still have a percentage, but we're going to put some people that are getting towed and let them go on there and kind of talk about what they're seeing. So anyway, it's just good, in my opinion, good business. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I just would ask y'all to do that.
Whatever it takes. We have nothing to hide.
No, I don't think
I
we
may
do.
make a mistake doing something dumb every now and then, but I don't stop. It doesn't deter me, it doesn't slow me down.
Yeah.
When we get this close, I'm going home, I guarantee you.
Well, I just want you to know, people are passionate about their property.
I
And
agree.
we all are.
Me too.
I asked y'all before, and every one of you said, I don't want it going through my property, the ones that were here. And I get that, but I'm just trying to look after my neighbors and my friends and
Sure.
kind of be a voice for them. And there's a lot of people here that have voices, but I just wanted to bring that up, that I've got probably 35, 40 phone calls concerned about the makeup of the
Sure.
board.
So before we leave this, and we can't take a motion or action, special meeting, but we can in 2 weeks at a regular meeting, regular time. Get this, talk to Judge Brumley, somebody, whoever, and ask me for some people that would like to attend the meetings, know everything, whatever, help us get it out there, whatever we can do. I don't care, Paul.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Well, I mean, I've talked to Judge Brumley about it, so I visited with him about it last
Good.
week, and he understood, because he
Sure.
was a hospital employee, and he understands the makeup of the board. Again, that's y'all's decision, but I just wanted to throw that out, that's some concerns that
Yes, sir.
your people that y'all represent they have that concern. And I'm sure we could get a list out of this room of some people that, and you don't need everybody from one little segment, you need to split
No.
them out.
You don't.
So they can represent each, part of the county that this is affects. So
Yes, sir.
anyway, that's my thoughts.
Thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I may have some advice, I don't know.
It's all right.
All right, I work for RMI.
All right.
I'm the lead water resource specialist for an environmental division.
Yes, sir.
We do this all the time. And I think this has been taking an approach that y'all probably are not familiar with. Matt, I'm assuming you may be more familiar with public involvements. Have y'all done public involvements in the past for projects?
We're doing what we should be doing.
Okay, Well, when you.
Are you talking about like the CMGC projects where you have the town hall meetings and things like that?
Or have, you know, a public involvement, well, let me back up a little bit. Okay, this has got federal dollars, right? And I understand it's COVID money, federal dollars.
It's ARPA.
It's what?
It's ARPA.
It was.
Federal monies, yeah.
Yes.
I agree, COVID.
That's what it was. I don't want to get COVID anyway.
Yeah, in COVID money, you don't have to do NEPA. When the NEPA process, are you familiar with it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not required to do NEPA under that. However, I'm assuming with this project, you're gonna get some more federal dollar grant monies from something? to complete-
We do not have any federal grant money.
No federal grant, so you've got $10 million is enough to do this whole project?
$10 million is the COVID money we've got. The rest of it would be planned to be loan money.
Loan money? Okay. What about your section 404?
Well, we can't get the 404 permit until we have a route,
But right, you're gonna have to get a section 404.
right?
That's your federal nexus.
Right.
It's gonna require you to do NEPA. And
If we get to that point.
Yeah, and the Corps is gonna probably ask for, have you done NEPA on this? And where I'm going with that is that a lot of this with everybody would have been solved a lot. I mean, you're gonna have landowners, I mean, I may be getting clipped by this, so I got a vested interest in it. I didn't know nothing about this until I got a couple phone calls. And when I came to the meeting last week, I was kind of saddened to hear of how to distribute and get this out to people. I mean, we're in a day now that even RDOT, we still send out mailers to anybody that's affected in a corridor. And I don't know if a corridor was looked at. I mean, technically, there should have been 3 alternatives looked at. And in the side of a corridor, in a public involvement meeting, you, even if it was in here, put it on your screens, corridor, here's what the lines we're looking at, you know, try to pick. And the public's starts your initial involvement with everybody where everybody is on page with what's going on. Well, and like I say, we do the mailers, and then we do, sometimes we have to reach out radio stations. We even have to get a hold of Hispanic. We have to do stuff in Hispanic. So they're involved, because there's more Hispanics that have property now than there ever used to be. So there's avenues to get to everybody. They don't have to be text messages. They don't have to be putting it on. I mean, a website's a good thing, but you only know a website if you know to go look for it. If you don't, I would not known to look for anything until I got a phone call. But like when Energy put their line through us, they did mailers and they did their first public involvement. So that's where we got the kickoff of, hey, this is coming. And it would have resolved a lot of this, you know, issue going on. And so being that when you trigger that section 404, you're going to end up having to do, of course, probably going to, there should be requiring you to do NEPA. They're going to ask for your.
I doubt it.
You doubt they're going to ask?
No, I know they won't.
Okay, what are you going to end up doing under what section permit?
Well, we'll get a section 404 permit. We don't have to do public meetings, and we don't have to do there's no federal nexus here, so to speak.
Yeah, section 404 is your federal nexus.
Section 404 is a permit we'll get, but we'll get it without.
That's involving the government agency, and that's what triggers, that's the nexus. And
Well, I disagree.
Really?
I've got these projects going all over the place. There's no federal funding here,
But you're involved in a federal agency to review.
right?
That's your nexus. That's your federal nexus. Okay, what about archaeology?
That's part of environmental review.
Right. And that's another federal nexus. Because we deal with this, if we have state funds with projects, we don't have to do that. But if we trigger section 404, or if we trigger archaeology, that's our federal nexus, that we have to do NEPA. I've been doing this for years. you know.
Same.
Okay. You know, if that's the way, but my major point is getting it out to the public, is doing some type of public involvement. And the main thing is sending it out on mailers. So, and that would solve a lot of this right up front.
And I agree, I think that's where we fell
I'm not
short,
disagreeing with
big
that
time is the
part.
mailers.
We're not off track.
I totally agree. That's where we fell majorly short, was not getting mailers out into a potential area that we are looking at. I don't disagree.
So this is the change that we are making, right there, is we've identified the mailers. When areas explored, those mailers are going out. That plus the sign up to be emailed with the agenda.
But what I'm getting at is at the beginning of this. I mean, I come in here last week and I'm like, we stepped back in 1980 and we didn't know how to get information out. And now it's finally coming to that, but that's a suggestion that should have been done and, which I haven't heard any talk about public involvement. I'm still talk about a mailer or something.
But the mailer she sent out, she only sent out 27, right?
Yeah, that was just along the corridor that I was given, yeah,
And so I
for
didn't.
what's gonna be projected to survey.
But he's saying that they sent out mailers, but there's only 27.
To each area that's being explored, when you got 27 property owners that have a 20, 40, 80, I think you're talking about quite a bit of area.
We did send out letters with the easements that we requested as well.
Last week, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I mean,
I'm
like I said, I deal with
anybody on that route.
new alignments.
Get a mailer this week.
I deal with new alignments on highway department all the time.
My understanding is though, we have not started any surveying.
No,
So
That's not the point.
But she only sent out 2 days.
but I mean, I
yeah,
guess,
I just sent them out Monday, and I was just the route I was told it was gonna be surveyed now.
Survey that you are doing is environmental work survey, correct?
Partly.
Well, what do you mean partly? It's either you or not. I mean, you're sending people out doing wetland delineations, aren't you? Or wetland.
Well, I said-
Let me back up, not delineations, but identifying wetlands and streams on the project area.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a level of surveying.
we're doing topographic surveying, we're doing lots of surveying.
Yeah,
Not just
I mean, that what you're talking about there is desktop surveys, but then putting boots on the ground, that's, people, which, all these people didn't get notified, which I don't know whose fault that was, not getting the door hangers out, but like I say, that's still gonna be in a mailer list. But up front, having a public involvement where everybody knows this is
Yeah.
coming, because I've worked on the Monticello bypass that was miles, and I went out there years after they talked about it, and I'm fretting, thinking I'm gonna get run off by landowners. And then I come in to people that caught me on their property, well, they knew about it. Even though it was years in advance,
Yeah.
we had public involvement meetings. So we involved the public and got them aware of the project, even though it got tabled for a while, and here we are coming in here later. So
Okay,
that's just my
that's
advice.
good, yeah, thank you.
No.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
one
Yes.
observation, and, I think the board is really trying to do right and be upfront with the public, and I'm just an observation. You got your engineer that's sitting there saying, we don't have to notify anybody, we don't have to have a meeting.
No, for that purpose. This is a different purpose.
We don't have to have a meeting. I think y'all want to be above board, and your engineer said, no, we don't have to have a meeting. I mean,
No,
you
that's not what I
obviously know
said.
talking about. I mean,
For a different purpose.
Why would you even say that? We're all here concerned. Y'all are trying to make everybody aware, and you're going, we don't have to meet, we don't have to have meetings.
For that purpose that he and I were discussing, they're wanting to do it for a totally different purpose, which I totally support.
Well, it came across to me that you're telling this gentleman, no, we don't have to meet. Everything he would say, you go, no, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We're not going to do that. I mean,
For the reasons he was stating, I disagree, but for the reasons that they're doing it for, I totally agree, but it's not my decision.
anyway, communication's important. I disagree with him. I think that gives me as a landowner a bad taste that the guy that y'all hire is like, oh, I don't have to tell y'all, we're not going to meet about it. So anyway, that's an observation from me sitting in the audience. So anybody else
Sure.
have a different opinion, they do, but that's the way I do it.
Anybody else?
Let me just kind of repeat what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that we still need to communicate better. We got it, we're working on it, and we're going to do it. I hear that we need to have representation of the county involved in this, and to be honest with you, I think it would be detrimental to kind of change the way we're operating. But I think there's a place to bring people in, public meetings, committees. There's lots of avenues that we can get that public input, especially when we're getting very serious, maybe talking with some of the particular owners about easements and possible routes. Yes, we're going to get more in contact with the people that we're coming in contact with. Way before we ever have surveyors on the ground again. If we're going to be coming to y'all about getting any type of easements, about any potential corridor that we're looking at, which we're grouping, we're looking at a variety of corridors now for alignments on this. So we're going to be dealing with contacting numerous people, and that will happen when we decide, are we going to stick with the corridor we have, or are we going to look at another one? That will happen. On Matt's behalf, he totally is saying that we are going to welcome public input. What he was saying was, and I'm another engineer too, that in the particular process of getting all the environmental clearances and funding clearances and things like that, his experience in the past on a water line project don't necessarily have to do everything that you were saying. But if it's required, we're gonna do it. On this project, if it's different than the other ones, we're gonna do it. We're kind of knocking on those doors right now of, we gotta go from here to there, what doors do we have to go through, what hurdles do we have to jump over, and if we gotta do extra environmental, extra federal, work with different federal agencies, we will discover that along the way and get it done, okay? But right now, where we're at, it's kind of, we're just kind of, we appreciate the feedback and the heads up about, hey, what we need to anticipate in dealing with. We do that, but,
Yeah, if you want to keep going forward, that's what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah.
You won't hit a hiccup down the line like the horse smoke. That is a federal nexus, that's a federal permit.
Mhm.
When you get a section 44 permit, you trigger NEPA, federal nexus.
I got it.
And I was just trying to give a heads up, where you don't get down the line, you try to submit it to the court, you got this big project, and they go, hey,
And we appreciate that, but if you ever hung around engineers, you know, we pretty much are pretty strong-headed about what we think we know about everything. But I want you to know, we really appreciate your input. We're taking it to heart. We're going to check those boxes and make sure we don't miss anything.
Well, that's good, because like I say,
And
we had a stepchild up there for years
Yeah.
until they started listening to us.
Matt's done this before, okay, so I hope we are repeating a lot of his previous experience. But doesn't have to say things have changed, and I do appreciate your heads up on stuff, and we'll check it. We won't miss it, I promise you. And in 30 days from now, if you guys are not satisfied with the way we are communicating, the way things are getting out, I'll step off this board if we have to, but I'll make a big fuss myself, because I'm a neighbor, I'm y'all's neighbor. This water line's going right down the side of my property, maybe on my property. So it's important to me too. I'm gonna make sure we are all being heard, we're all being represented. We can't thank you enough for your input. It's always a good time to pause, reflect on what we've heard, regroup, and then move forward in the best consideration of everybody of all your inputs that we heard. And I want you to know we've heard that, and we're very serious about moving forward in a manner that you are in agreement with, but we still want you to know we want to move forward. We are going to move forward. What we are going to do is as considerate as possible to everybody that we're going to be working with, especially you and your friends and your neighbors. Okay, I'm saying that, and as long as I'm on the board, we'll make sure that's going to happen. Okay, and I can tell you, in conversations with Mariah and with Perry, we are thinking that, and everybody on this board, we are thinking that exact same thing. We've heard what you said. How can we communicate in the manner that you're wanting to hear it? How can we get out ahead of this? And not be as nearly as disruptive again with new neighbors and stuff as we come and encounter. We've heard you, and I would just keep giving us the feedback, get involved, send us emails once we get everything set up. So it's going to happen, and within 30 days, I expect y'all to be pleased with how we're moving at that point in time. Okay, that we are doing a water line through Saline County somewhere to the water plant on Congo Road. And we just want to try to make it as easy as possible on everybody. And we do appreciate y'all.
Paul, I'm sorry, Jason, were you through? I was just going to holler at him. I had a question. What if there was a place, and I realize it's going to be hard to do everything where somebody doesn't miss it. So if we publicize a place, maybe in the Cougar, a sign somewhere that every so often something's going to be on that sign, you can call and check. I'm just talking out loud. We have no reason not to put it all over the county. I'm just confused about how to do a good job of that. So anybody else, is there a place that we can put up and says something like, check this date, we meet the same date every month unless there's some reason we can't.
I mean, I'm not a social media person.
I'm not either.
But, I mean, I can just tell you things that I've seen, things that I see us do in the school district. We use emails, we use social media, we also use billboards, and I know that's money.
That's what I'm talking about.
I complain about y'all wasting taxpayers' money, but that's money.
Yeah.
And that's taxpayers, they're expensive.
Yeah.
So there's billboards, there's digital billboards that broadcast stuff. You know, I go back to the old school where you can nail stuff, Brinson did too, nail stuff on telephone poles.
Yes.
Hey, we're having a meeting tomorrow at the Lonsdale Fire Department, or whatever. we can't do that no more, they won't let us mail stuff on. But there's ways to do it, and everybody in here still gets the mail. And I know it's expensive, it's 69 cents every time you send it, but a letter, and you can't send it to 100,000 people, there's no way. But
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Social media seems to be the big way, billboards, the Cougar is a good avenue. There's other, email and internet access for people to get. I'm just not, where me and Brinson live, there ain't no internet. I mean, we have our phone, and we literally, unless Brinson snuck in there and got internet, and I don't know about it.
I'm begging.
So, anyway, I just don't really know that answer, but there's, billboards are expensive though. I mean, it's $400 or $500 a pop, and I don't know how you, other than just community meetings, and you'd be here all night if everybody in the community got up and wanted to talk about it. So
What we need is a communications committee.
Yeah.
And I think you can
No,
get beyond
all of that. But I mean, maybe break it up in
I
segments.
got to go to the Southwest Board meeting.
Yeah, you break it up in segments. You deal with the fair play community in a town hall meeting, and you go to the next Mountain View Town Hall committee meeting, and y'all ain't even started on Congo Road, and then you ain't even starting. I've got people calling me when you leave the plant, going toward East End. I mean, they're calling me, and I'm hoping to God they're in somebody else's district, but they're in mine. Because I know you ain't even started that avenue yet, and there's gonna be a lot, because that's more heavily concentrated.
And so I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, that was also, I love the idea of mailers. I just think that seems to be the most consensus. Everyone still checks their mail, right? Everyone still gets mail. It's kind of like, how do we get all these addresses? So those 27 ones that I sent out, we're not looking at starting surveying, as far as I know, up again, but those 27 addresses were given to me as, hey, we will probably, when we start surveying again, this is potentially where we're gonna go, so that it's not 170 across the entire route, and I'm sitting there, I am handwriting each of these addresses to people, and then stamping it, and then walking it to the mailbox. So, but it's worth the effort if it works. So if we're hearing mailers, if we're hearing that, then that's just up to, then we need to work together. Someone just needs to give me addresses, and I will send mailers out all day long.
That just came to, what about, you're all affiliated with a water board, everybody in there gets a water bill for the most part.
Yeah, he just said.
Yeah.
Attach the flyer, you do your water bill. We all get it, if it's an water bill email, attach, hey, there's a community meeting, Monday, May the 1st, at certain time. I think that's you're not gonna get anything to do it. You're not gonna get personal entry from the city of Benton to do it on that. You can do it on the water.
Yeah, good idea.
Everybody gets a water bill, so.
And those are the water districts that are impacted, with this project positively.
Yes, ma'am.
Water, so, you should get it.
Could you send me one? 'Cause I have my water bill going to John Young.
Paul, there will come a time when we'll know in advance that Matt's got the different options lined out, and that probably would be the time that would be expected.
I agree.
The 69 cents each per letter, that's only going to the people that we have any real expectation that might be under serious consideration for a route. We're not busy sending those out unnecessarily either, not knowing which route. So there's kind of an order of things. Getting the word out that the July meeting, we're going to be considering with seriousness and perhaps voting on a route to take. That's hypothetical. All right? I'm not saying it's happening in July at all. Matt's going to wring my neck. But with that one, it makes perfect sense that at a certain point, people just have to push click, add me to the email list, and,
I do like the idea of having it on the bills, though, at least the monthly meeting. Saying we have a monthly meeting, do it every fourth Thursday. Why not have that? Yeah.
It's easy for me to say.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely look into that.
Just communication.
Yeah.
One second, sir. Ms. Hodges sent us a thing for cheap mailing. Isn't that what that was, Mariah?
Yes.
Very economical, and we're looking into that. If that looks like that may work, so that with the water billing, yes. And last thing, Sardis is trying to get in, that will be all 8 purveyors in Saline County. And that's what we've been after. They used to be here, I've told y'all. And so we're working hard to get them in there. And this will make it better for them. Whatever we do now, then we'll all be doing the same thing. And we'll go ahead and work with them, and they can get theirs out.
Well, it's a good time, because, it just hit statewide news today that Central Arkansas Water is increasing their rates drastically.
Uh-huh.
There's a double-edged sword to that. I got a phone call today, well, Bryant's
Right there.
worried about their rates going up when Benton's are not gonna go up, so we're doing this to protect Bryant. So you hear all kinds of stuff, so there's,
Yeah.
everything that comes out, there's a spin-off of it. So anyway, I just appreciate what y'all do, and
Hey.
I gotta go to another meeting, it starts at 6. I just wanted to talk about the board.
That's fine.
And,
And with CAW, that's what this lady was referring to. If you look at their long-range plan, that's where we get the part about ours, whatever our rate is in 5 or 6, 7 years or so. Shortly, it will start down. There's never will.
you remember back John Wayne days, one controlled the water.
That's right. That's right. That's it. Begins and ends with water. Thank you, Paul. Yes, sir. Sorry.
While ago, Matt said loan money is gonna pay for this project.
Yes, sir.
Okay, who will be paying that back? Every
Every-
resident in Saline County?
40, 50,000 people. We don't have a number yet, but everybody.
Then that's who I would think needs a mailer.
Hey.
And that's just me. And you think, and that may be impossible to you guys, but it's.
No. I think that's a pretty decent idea.
If each water district would do the mailers, then, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Each one, like Salem, Southwest, whoever, you said, we pay for them, send them out.
Oh, everybody's water bill's going up when this goes in, pay for the loan, right?
Yeah, somewhat, yes.
They all need to be notified too.
Sure, yeah.
East End did send out a letter last year to all of our customers.
Yeah, we've sent out letters with our bills, but I think now's the time to do it again and have the meeting notifications on there where they can come and give input, because it was just kind of like an informational that we put out. Okay, yeah. We just did an informational for Bryant, but we didn't do the meeting and stuff, so that's a good suggestion, so people can come and give input.
What's it say?
Ours just said what the project was. It was the one pager. The county put it out, everyone put it out.
You could use that.
Yeah. Send it out again with our bills and have a thing on there that says we meet the third Thursday. Yeah, I sent it to the whole board.
Tweak it and then everybody can use it.
Yeah.
We can send it, I'll send it out with our bills too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send it to you.
Anything, yes, sir. Could you,
Missed it.
would you mind coming up?
Oh, I'm just got a question.
That's fine. My man over here gets after me.
I may have missed it. Brinson told me that, or I got my information from somewhere, but I haven't got it from here, or I may have just not heard. How wide is the easement gonna be?
50 feet wide.
50 foot. That's it. Got
50 feet. Yeah,
That's
these
gonna
ones
give
are
you
already.
plenty of room to operate the machinery.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I got to interrupt. One question, somebody asked me if y'all had told anybody whether y'all were going to be boring or if this is open digging.
Both.
It's both.
Born. Like,
Both.
just-
You're gonna bore up under the Saline River.
Well, right.
You're not gonna open cut the Saline River.
And the
What about like
creeks.
people's creeks
And the
your,
creeks.
and like your driveway or whatever, like what are you doing, like,
Mostly open cut.
okay. Because there are places where that'll be a problem. So, I'm
Yes,
just
ma'am.
saying. The other question I've heard probably 5 times this week, and you probably already explored this, and there's probably an answer, but people are asking. We know that Little Rock has backup water lines to Lake Winona that they will never, ever use, never have used. Why not just eminent domain those and take it? It'd be a whole lot cheaper than what y'all are trying to do.
You cannot eminent domain another governmental entity.
No.
That's if I even ask.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know that, we know that for a fact. You cannot eminent domain another.
There was a guy, I've been asked that about 5 times this week, and I was like, I don't know,
You
why?
can't
would we
eminent
not?
domain another.
Just take their lines.
You can't eminent domain another governmental entity.
May I
What
respond?
about where there's a will, there's a way?
I
I mean,
agree.
I'm looking at y'all, and I'm knowing where there's a will, there's a way, so.
Yes, ma'am. May I respond to that? And let me tell you a little bit about that. We, and I may have reported this, I'll do it again quickly. We had CAW to figure supplying our water, using that from that lake and all this build, and they said they would have to build a water treatment facility up there for us, but it would serve Little Rock, parts of Little Rock. It was 15 to 25 million, and we had to do our own infrastructure with the lines. Now, that's another premium. They own and guard every piece of that, ma'am. And so we told them we would take anything they would offer. And they said that this is all we can do as far as our connection to Maw Mill or there. And so,
Although, with that being said,
mhm.
with this group of people and some of the people that have been here before, and people who don't know about this project yet, you never know who knows somebody that can make it happen. Which is why communication and being open would have been really helpful from the
Agreed.
get-go, because you never know who out there knows somebody that can push just the right button where they fold, you get what you want.
Yes, ma'am. CAW has been a good wholesale water service, but they call everything. I mean, they make these decisions, and we pretty much have to go by them. And you can ask them, and it is, and they've been nice. I'm not going to badmouth them, I promise you. And but they run a pretty good ship. They don't make changes. What they do works for them. They have a lot of wholesale customers, and they have meetings that all of us go to, and they tell you what you can and can't do and where it's going. It's pretty open and shut. So, but I don't mind asking. I can tell you, I'll ask them, because I'll be in a meeting before too long with them. And yes, sir. Come on.
I have a question. Got a 50-foot easement. What can I do with that property? Can you run cows on it or grow whatever you want to on it?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Y'all gonna be building sheds and pump houses and?
No, sir. No, sir.
Can it be fenced on each end to keep people from turning my field into a
Yes, sir.
four-wheeler trail?
Put your gate on there. As far as I know, Matt, you speak to this.
Do anything you want with it, you just can't build a structure on it.
Are you all gonna do the fencing?
If we take down your fence, we will put your fence back to better than what it was.
I think that's a law, to be honest with you.
It's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do, and it needs to be done.
Because I was really, really pissed. My wife was even more pissed when they got this hang tag for the door, and she saw that and she thought, well, we get some money out of this. Yeah, right. I told you, it ain't gonna be. She's very upset about her deer and all that stuff, with people out there screwing around and all that. And
yes, sir.
I just, I mean, as long as I can't see it, can't hear it, can't smell it, I don't really care, but I don't want my field turned into a four-wheeler trail.
Not happening.
Company trucks running up and down it all day longer. I mean, how long will they take to get a stretch of pipe run through there?
Depends on how.
I don't know how long stretch, well, I'm not even sure if we're gonna be on your property, first of all, but how big a stretch would you say we're talking about?
I would say at least 600 feet wide from what I gathered from the flags, just off.
Your property would be 600 feet long, 50 feet wide?
Over quarter mile long though, but it's long and skinny, but it catches right in the middle of it.
Well, I mean, just a matter of days, you know. It'd be if you're talking about the construction process itself.
Yes.
It'd be very quick.
That settles all my questions for now.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Since you pointed at me.
Yes, sir. Calling you out.
Okay. So what, the plan on the corridors, what's our time frame? Are we gonna have different corridors to look at that the public from point A to B to C is gonna be, asked to come give public comments on, other than just a couple of us that are, on the Highway 70 area.
Yes, sir.
There are gonna be different corridors that we can look at, that can be shown on the screen. There'll be different options, and when's that gonna have to happen?
He's working on those now, I know, and some of the ones that you presented. They're being looked at right now.
What do you think? I mean,
You want me to answer? So there's only so many corridors. We've got 2 endpoints, right? So we got, so you guys, we have 2 endpoints here. And we've got, we're not going, I wouldn't think we're going to do some crazy loop around some crazy something or another to get there. And there's only so many corridors between point A and point B. And you've identified several, and we've talked about several. And all those will be considered as one big corridor as far as I'm concerned. And I've got some routes picked out for that we'll talk about, that you can compare one to the other. But I'm not sure about public comment. I mean, that you'll have to answer that question.
Well, the reason I bring that up is, I don't know when that was, years ago, several years ago, Energy had these town hall meetings that I'm not sure how it got out, but it got out all over the place, because everybody in the world called me and said, this meeting's here, or this fire department, or this church here, and they had 8, 10 different routes that they had. Hey, would you pick A, B, C, or D, E, F, G? And they took a tally at every one of those little meetings. Who was gonna, be at what end of this? Are you gonna be a fighter, or are you gonna work with us? And I'm not sure what come of it, but that's how they approach that. Is, hey, let's like 20 different options out here, and let's see. And that way everybody knows, because there's still, just a few of us here still don't know exactly, or, we know what we surveyed on.
Yeah.
And we know what we saw on the surveyor's phones, or the,
I can tell you that because we've reached out to organizations, and Matt has started to reach out to RDOT for some of the other alternate routes. It's going to take time to get that evaluation done.
a month or 2 months?
However long it takes, we're not going to do anything until we get that done and we get something back to us. So.
Interrupt, but isn't it true that y'all met with the Heritage Commission and that route is out? Y'all will no longer be able to go through that land?
I can speak to that. We did meet with them. It's not out. We have some stuff to look at, but they did not count us out, no.
I believe it's like 2 years before you would be able to access it. If you were able to access it, you would have to buy the whole piece of land.
Okay, that's news to us. That was something that they were gonna look into and let us know, but we haven't heard from
I
them.
believe it is out.
Okay, well, yeah, they told us it was a gray box, but it was not a black box, so.
Thank you.
They did give us a suggestion about, there's a section of road that goes kind of near the property that we were looking at, and they said if we could put the line near the road, it was near the road, right, Matt? If we could put the line near the road, that would much better help the chances of getting something like that done instead of having to cut right through their land, yes. That was the only thing that we were looking at. I don't believe there is, yeah.
I don't know what road you're talking about on the Heritage side of the ground. There's not a road.
They told us about a road.
That runs north and south through the middle of it.
Runs north and south.
Okay, yeah,
I mean, I'm there.
Yeah,
every day.
yeah.
They're talking about West Jackman.
Yes.
They're talking about running along West Jackman.
Down West Jackman.
Yep.
yeah, they just told us, about a road, I'm not.
Where is West Jackman to where these gentlemen are talking?
Heritage,
To Heritage?
It joins West Jackman.
the
Does it?
street is
Okay.
off of West Jackman.
Yes, sir. All right. All right. Anybody else? We're gonna do this as long as we need to.
I do
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When will the reservoir construction start?
Not anytime soon.
Everything's shut down right now.
I mean, this has got everything
Yes.
parked.
Okay, and when, okay. All right.
I have one more question. Have you
Yes.
bought land or contacted or been in communication with Kenny Nally?
Kenny Nally? No,
Okay, I just make sure.
no. Not that I know of.
Doesn't sound familiar. And all the
No.
handwritten letters I've done, it doesn't sound familiar. I think I've got them mostly
Maybe
memorized.
before it's over, but I don't know about it right now.
I-
I know Kenny.
I was just curious, I saw some activity going on and,
Okay.
you know.
I hope it wasn't us of any kind.
No, it wasn't y'all.
Okay.
It wasn't y'all.
Good, thank you.
Or any of the surveys or anything, but
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious.
No, that's fine. Anything else? If not, anything else from the board, anything anybody needs to talk about, whatever? If not, we have our regular meeting in 2 weeks. Bobby, we have a date on that,
22nd.
22nd, I believe that's right. I looked at
It's my
that.
birthday.
Here at 5?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, here at 5.
Yeah, May 22nd, 5 PM, right here.
I apologize for my phone going off like it's done. That is totally my fault. My sister's had some issues and I'm trying to keep it low, but evidently I went loud instead of low, so sorry, my bad. It won't happen. Oh, well, thank y'all very much. We're in good and welfare. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.